Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video I'm going to be going over the official patch notes for patch 10.1.5 coming out on July 11th. They released these earlier today. I hadn't got a chance to look at them yet. I know most of the stuff in here, but we're going to go through this, and there's probably some stuff I don't know about, especially the outdoor world content and stuff like that. Alright, so we're going to start off with the Mega Dungeon, Dawn of the Infinite. If you don't know, there's a new Mega Dungeon coming out. It's time-based. There's a lot of really unique items in there. A lot of the weapons only work in certain areas, I would say, like Uldaman, like all the Titan areas. But there are these trinkets that work everywhere that could possibly be very good. There's also some other items that could possibly be very good. And this drops pretty high eye level loot. I believe like 337 or 341 or something like that. So it drops very good eye level loot, and this is something you might want to do on mythic difficulty. And they did also nerf the bosses on mythic difficulty recently, so this is definitely something where you have to do mechanics in this dungeon, but it's not like it shouldn't be omega hard, but it might be hard. Like you are gonna have to do the mechanics. New evoker specialization augmentation. So if you don't know this, I don't know how you wouldn't know this, but because it's like a big thing, obviously. New specs getting introduced to evokers augmentation, and what this is going to do, it's a damage dealer role, as it says right here. But what it's going to be do is buffing allies essentially, and they're trying to put hooks. Blizzard worked with Warcraft logs to try to put hooks, and maybe I don't know if they worked with details as well, but to try to put hooks into the game that the damage that the augmentation evoker gives to somebody is actually counted as their damage. So the more they buff their allies, the more damage they'll get credit for, essentially. So that's how they're trying to make it work. We'll see if it works out or not. When it actually comes out, we'll see. Obviously, like details, we'll have to update and account for this as well, and we'll see how well they do with that. On logs, though, we'll see. Supposedly they're working with Warcraft logs, so we'll see. And that's about all I can say with it. Basically, they have these abilities, and if you want to dig more into it, I will link this whole thing in the details below. But basically, you're just buffing your allies, and you're trying to do so optimally with a perfect rotation and stuff. There's also a passive way to play Augmentation Evoker where you don't have to be quite as skilled, I guess, and you still will get you'll still operate at a decent level, but to really get the max out of it, just like everything else, to get the max out of it, you just got to min max. Time rift. So this is something I actually don't know a lot about myself. The time streams have become increasingly more unstable with recent events as the boundaries between the timelines weaken. Minions from other timelines begin pouring into Dragon Isle. That's pretty cool. Team up with other players to push back against the waves of minions. Enter the time rifts and plug the hole by taking down the bosses. Okay, so this kind of reminds me of maybe like on Argus where we went through the portals. On completion, each time rift has a chance to grant a reward based on the timelines you've encountered, and you can never obtain the same reward twice. Acquire an encapsulated destiny, and use it to guarantee yourself a reward for the next time rift you complete. Not getting what you want? No sweat. Everything is available on the corresponding timeline's vendor in exchange for time rift currency. Paracausal flakes. So this is pretty cool, for sure. I don't know how interesting it'll be, but I'm just kind of imagining those portals that you would go through on Argus. There was like the big boss portals and the small portals, and like you would have to like kill some stuff, and then like the big boss would come out at the end. This is how I'm imagining it. I can't imagine it being any other way, really. Eon's Fringe. While the time waves are unstable, undertake new repeatable content in Eon's Fringe and Thaldraszus, located near the temporal conflux. As Dormu knows his time's coming and can feel things are going awry. Due to these disruptions, episodes in Azeroth's history are going astray, and players must access Eon's Fringe to set things right. So these are like daily quests you can do. I actually do know a little bit about this. They had to change some of these things. So you're trying to settle the time waves, and apparently you get rewards. I don't know what the rewards are, but these are like daily quests you can do in Eon's Fringe. Well, Daycare, this is a cool little thing that they added, especially for like RP people, more casual people. The dragons have more eggs than they can handle. Decided to call a crew of Little Skate's Daycare to help. The crew quickly finds itself overwhelmed and has asked for help from friends. You'll guide 5 dragon whelps as they grow and learn about dragon flights, collect new pets, achievements, and more. This is obviously optional content. New bonus event, Commodore Cup. So this is obviously something a lot of people are excited about. It's actually quite large now that I keep going through this. Rediscover Commodore Skies with a new dragon riding racing event arriving in Azeroth and running from August 15th to 28th. So you'll get 2 weeks. Challenge 16 races across Commodore in normal, advanced, and reverse, and earn Riders of Azeroth badges to exchange for rewards from Mazda. So this is pretty cool. So basically you get to dragon ride in Azeroth, old Azeroth, for 2 weeks. Eventually this is going to be permanent. My guess is this is kind of like the beta for it, right? They're going to test it out, see how it works, where wings are clipping, where skyboxes aren't tall enough. They're going to, use this for data essentially, right? And when they make it live, hopefully it's a lot more seamless when they make it permanent. The Warlock class expands to new races, so Warlocks can play Night Elves, Draenei, Lightforged, Pandaren, Colterian Tauren, High Mountain Tauren, Maghar, Zandalari. You'll also be able to undertake new Warlock-specific quest line and use the barbershop to customize your pets. All kinds of pet customizations for them as well. Updated lighting and fog throughout Commodore. This is for the dragon riding, of course. That looks a lot better. That's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, the view distance in Old Azeroth is not as good. It gets foggy really bad. It's the same way in Eastern Kingdoms as well. So I imagine they'll fix that too as we get into Eastern Kingdoms. That looks like... What zone is this? That looks like an Eastern Kingdom zone. Is that like Arethi? They said Kalmador, but I think that might be Arethi, right? I guess I could be wrong. That's definitely the texture of Arethi, but I don't see anything I know for sure that makes it Arethi. Huh, interesting. Characters added 5 new fur colors, added 1 eye color, fur colors for Worgen, eye color for Maghar orcs. The light source that reflects in non-glowing eyes is no longer static. All restrictions for unlocking allied races have been removed, with the exception of a level 40 character, so allied races are easier to do. Newly created allied races will now be directed to Chromie. It was the Warboard. Characters level 10 through 60, they have not logged in for 60. This is actually really cool. So if you have not played in a long time and you're coming back, you'll have the option to receive a welcome back gift in the character select screen. The welcome back gift includes select specialization. Upon logging, become equipped with the updated bags and gear that's appropriate to the character's level and selected specialization. All previously worn items and bags can be collected from the mailbox. Teleport the character to the home city. All quests in the quest log will be cleared to provide a clean slate. To continue your leveling journey, head to Chromie in Orgrimmar or Stormwind. Characters now learn their appropriate amount. So what if you didn't pick it up? So basically, what's kind of cool is, like, let's say you're level 40 on a character. You haven't played in a long time. You're very casual, whatever. Maybe you're not casual. You log into that character. The last time you played, it was like that particular character. It was like Legion or something, right, or something like that. You use this option. It'll now give you gear appropriate for the modern game, whatever level 40 gear would be. So like the heirloom gear, kind of like, it's not heirloom gear. It'll just be like that item level that it would be for level 40. And you get this gear, and it's just kind of an easier way to come back. I know I've actually logged on some old characters, and the way when they did the level squish and stuff, like the item level of their stuff is actually way too low compared to what it should be for modern stuff. And, having that would actually be helpful. Characters now learn the appropriate riding skill upon reaching appropriate level without needing to visit a mount trainer. So you actually just learn your riding now. You don't have to pay for it. Characters that reach level 30 receive the quest Time to Fly and be awarded a flying mount. The Harbor Griffin for Alliance and Scarlet Pterodox for Horde. The class notes, I'm not going to go through all these. As I always say, I'm not a master of every class. We'll talk a little bit about the Paladin stuff, the Rat Paladin stuff, but there's a lot of stuff in here. A lot of Druid balance. There's a lot of Evoker stuff, Devastation, and Augmentation. Obviously being new as well. Mages, lots of stuff for mages. If you're a mage, you want to know this stuff. Lots of stuff for mages. Kind of a rework here. A little bit of stuff for monks, not a lot. Paladin, Holy Paladin, also a bit of a rework. Lots of stuff for Holy Paladin if you want to, if you play Holy Paladin. Retribution, nothing big here. There's a slight damage buff that is only to offset the nerf to the Onyx Amulet that's coming out. Other than that, this is pretty much nothing big for Rat. which is what we talk about a lot here. Some shaman changes, quite a bit of shaman changes. Some warlock changes, quite a bit of warlock changes as well. Almost nothing for warriors. Dungeons and raids. So this is actually a big one. The Siege of Orgrimmar now. You can actually skip towards the end now. You don't have to go through the whole Siege of Orgrimmar. If you've ever farmed this raid, it's extremely laborious to do, and so this is a lot better. Adjusted boss health in classic dungeon using Chromie time. Cross-realm trading is new. This is like such a huge patch. Cross-realm trading, you can now trade cross realms now. Player versus player. They try to do some things to improve a little bit on player versus player stuff. I think with rating and stuff as well. But nothing huge here to talk about. This is just kind of like quality of life stuff. Professions. Is this where you get the Naxxramas stuff? Yeah. Frozen runes can now be found along the walls of Naxxramas for players interested in crafting legendary or legacy frost resist patterns. And so you can go back into Nax and do some of the old stuff there. PvP class changes. We're not going to go over these at all because that would not be suitable for me to talk about really at a expert level. Chromie time. Chromie will now teach you what Chromie time is. Okay, this is cool. So this is better for new players. The maximum level for Chromie time is 61. It was 60. And Chromie time expansion restrictions have been removed. So now you can go to, whatever you want, basically. Basically just a huge quality of life update for new players, especially, right? So if you wanted to do Chromie time, if you're a new player, you might not even know what to do or how to do it. You would just you would finish Exile's Reach and then you would go do BFA. However, they're going to make Chromie time a little bit more accessible and explain to you what it is. Suggesting timelines to use. I believe you can also watch like cinematics and stuff for the expansions that you're going to be choosing. So that way maybe you can choose based on that way. So that's pretty cool. Both Exile's Reach and Battle for Azeroth now have campaigns to make it easier to track progress and pick up where you left off. This is actually helpful as well. Some user interface and accessibility things that have been updated. Just mostly quality of life stuff. Some of the stuff's good. They added, I spotted this one. This is a good one. Added a sell all junk button to vendors, so you could actually just sell all of your gray items with one button. There's add-ons that have done this previously, of course, but now you can do it on the Blizzard UI and some stuff to edit mode as well. Quality of life, just making some things a little bit better. Lots of quality of life stuff on top of lots of actual big changes. So this is actually quite a huge patch. Man, I'm really pumped about a lot of this stuff. The class changes don't really affect me at all, but if I was like a mage or something, I'd be pretty pumped about the class changes. I'm pumped about some of the quality of life stuff. The Kalmador Cup, the Mega Dungeon, even the outdoor stuff doesn't sound that bad. Like if you go through those portals like I was talking about, like the Time Waves or like the Argus portals, that actually could be pretty decent too. If I was a Warlock main, I'd be hyped about that. Don't care too much about the Daycare. If I'm being honest. Time Rifts, that's the thing I thought sounded pretty cool. Yeah, Augmentation Evokers coming out. Yeah, this is a pretty big, pretty cool patch. So I'm really excited about this. This will be next week. And honestly, I couldn't look forward to it anymore. So hopefully you are as positive and excited about it as me, because I'm legitimately excited about this. So that is it for this one, though. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because it helps me out a lot. And other than that, everybody, have a good one.